Warning! This is not just another date on the calendar. May 29th to 31st are not ordinary days. They are sacred portals. You're not being asked to act. You're being called to align. So isolate, not out of fear, but to fully absorb what's about to enter your life. Let me explain exactly why these final 3 days of May are the most important energetic days of the year so far, and what happens if you miss the signs. There are moments in time that don't just pass, they vibrate with something more. The final 3 days of May are not ordinary days on the calendar. They carry an invisible pulse, a hum beneath the surface of reality. You may find your emotions rising without explanation, or your skin more sensitive to touch and sound. It's not coincidence, it's energy. A spiritual frequency is moving through these dates like a soft current, and those tuned in will sense its presence without needing words. Isolation during this period isn't about withdrawing from the world out of fear or anxiety. It's about clearing space, internally and externally, for something sacred to arrive. When you remove the clutter of daily noise, of endless chatter and distraction, what remains is a stillness that speaks louder than sound. That stillness is the doorway. In solitude, your body becomes a sensor, your mind a receiver, and your heart a quiet drum waiting to echo something new. This isn't a punishment, it's a preparation. Much like how an artist needs silence to hear inspiration, you need this pause to feel the subtle shift that's beginning. Don't rush to fill the silence with explanation. Let it linger. Let it stretch. Because this is not the time for action, it's the time for alignment. Something ancient and intelligent is whispering to you, and if you listen closely enough, it might just change the way you enter June. Some transitions don't happen all at once. They unfold in layers, like doors opening one by one inside of you. The last 3 days of May are exactly that, a sacred sequence designed to unlock the full spectrum of your being. Each day holds a key, not randomly, but intentionally. May 29th touches the mind, calling you to examine your thoughts, your patterns, and what no longer serves you. It's as if the mental fog lifts for a moment, offering clarity you didn't realize you needed. Then comes May 30th, the day of the body. You may feel exhausted, restless, or deeply aware of every pulse and breath. This isn't fatigue from activity. It's a recalibration. Your physical form is syncing with an energy shift you can't see, but you can feel. Listen to what your body is saying. It's not just reacting, it's reflecting. Movement, rest, hydration, even cravings, all become clues. On this day, your body becomes the map. And finally, May 31st stirs the spirit. It's quiet but potent, like the air right before a thunderstorm. You might feel an unshakable knowing or receive insights that don't come from logic, but from somewhere deeper. It's the day when your soul steps forward and whispers what your mind can't explain. These 3 days are not just symbolic, they are spiritually engineered. And if you move through them with awareness, you won't just step into June, you'll step into a higher version of yourself. May 29th marks the beginning of the internal triad, and it starts with the mind. But this isn't about overthinking or solving problems. It's about stepping back and watching your thoughts as they are, without judgment or urgency. Like a silent observer standing at the edge of a river, you're invited to notice the patterns flowing through your mind. What themes repeat? What emotions keep getting triggered? These aren't random, they're revealing what's ready to be rewritten. Many of the thoughts we carry aren't even ours. They're echoes from childhood, imprints from fear, or beliefs absorbed from others. Today gives you a unique clarity to see through the illusion. It's not about fighting the noise, it's about listening to it long enough to recognize its origin and purpose. If a specific worry or memory keeps rising, pay attention. It's your mind signaling, "I'm ready to release this. Let's move on." This is your mental detox day. Instead of filling your head with new information, allow the old scripts to rise and dissolve. Write them down, burn the paper, speak them aloud, and then choose silence. Letting go doesn't always look dramatic. It can be a quiet, gentle act of turning inward and saying, "I don't need this story anymore." Today isn't about fixing your mind, it's about freeing it. If you've made it this far, don't forget to subscribe for daily cosmic insights, astrology updates, and spiritual guidance, because the universe always has a message for you. On May 30th, the focus shifts from your thoughts to your physical form, and it's not by accident. This day isn't about pushing through or staying productive. It's about slowing down enough to feel the signals your body has been quietly sending. Maybe you're unusually tired. Maybe a specific part of your body feels sore without explanation. These aren't flaws or malfunctions. They're messages. Your body is undergoing a subtle recalibration, aligning itself with the energetic changes happening around and within you. So many of us are used to ignoring the whispers of our body until they become screams. But today, listen to the whispers. If your body craves stillness, honor it. If it needs movement, stretch with presence. Even your appetite or sleep cycle might shift. This is all part of the tuning process. Like a musical instrument being adjusted, your body is syncing with something larger and more refined than what you can consciously measure. Hydration, rest, gentle care, these simple acts become spiritual rituals today. Not because they're dramatic, but because they're intentional. Every sip of water, every breath of fresh air, every quiet pause becomes a moment of harmony between your soul and your skin. This is not about doing more, it's about feeling more. May 30th reminds you that the body isn't just a vessel, it's a compass, and today it points to balance. In a world that constantly demands expression, there's something profoundly powerful about keeping certain truths to yourself, at least for a while. During these final days of May, whatever clarity or insight arrives isn't meant to be immediately shared. It's sacred, and sacred things need time to settle. Think of your realization as a seed freshly planted in rich soil. Would you dig it up just to show it to someone? Of course not. You'd let it stay buried, nourished by silence. There's a natural instinct to share breakthroughs, on social media, in conversation, even out loud to yourself. But this time, you're being called to resist that urge, not because your truth isn't valuable, but because it's still becoming. Speaking it too soon might dilute its depth. These 3 days are not about performance. They're about preservation. You're not here to convince others of what you're feeling. You're here to anchor it quietly inside. The most powerful transformations often begin in silence. Just as a tree takes root before it ever reaches toward the sky, your internal growth needs space, darkness, and time. What you're feeling now is real, but let it mature in the stillness before trying to define it. This is not the time to explain yourself. It's the time to trust the inner unfolding. Let the seed grow. The bloom will come soon enough. There's a kind of silence that isn't empty, it's full. And on May 31st, that's exactly what surrounds you. This isn't just a quiet day, it's a spiritually charged moment designed for listening beyond words. The outside world may seem the same, but internally, something sacred is moving. The universe is speaking, but not through language. This is the kind of guidance that comes as a knowing in your chest, a pull in your gut, or a sudden stillness that holds deep meaning. You may feel like you're waiting for something, though you don't know what. That feeling is the message. This is a day for stillness, not because you're doing nothing, but because you're doing everything that matters, receiving. The answers may come while you're washing dishes, sitting in silence, or walking without a destination. It might feel like intuition, a whisper that lands with weight. That's your soul hearing what the mind can't explain. On this day, don't rush to share what you feel. Let it settle. Let the wisdom anchor before you try to speak it aloud. Some of the most powerful guidance isn't meant to be put into words right away. It's meant to be lived. May 31st is the final piece in this triad of transformation, where your spirit is given what it needs to step into a new chapter. Trust the quiet. It holds more than sound ever could. Between May 29th and 31st, don't be surprised if your nights feel more vivid than your days. During this window, your dreams may carry a strange intensity, visually rich, emotionally deep, and strangely specific. You might wake up remembering conversations that never happened, places you've never seen, or feelings that linger long after your eyes open. This isn't your imagination playing tricks. These dreams aren't random, they're transmissions. Spiritual signals traveling through sleep, delivering what words and waking thoughts cannot. Unlike regular dreams that tend to reflect stress, memory, or desire, these messages move deeper. They bypass your mind and speak directly to your energetic field. A symbol may hold the weight of an answer. A face may feel familiar because it belongs to a soul you've known beyond this life. These aren't just dreams to interpret, they're dreams to absorb. You don't need to overanalyze them, just feel them. Their truth isn't found in logic, but in the emotional resonance they leave behind. So keep a journal nearby, not to decode, but to remember. These transmissions may not make sense today, but they'll align with your path in the days or weeks ahead. Trust what you receive in the quiet of sleep. The veil is thinner now, and your soul is wide awake, traveling, listening, remembering. Every night between May 29th and 31st is not just a rest, it's a sacred meeting with something higher. Have you noticed certain thoughts circling you again and again, like they're trying to be heard louder each time? These aren't just distractions, they're spiritual signals, like moths drawn to the flame of your inner awakening. Each repeated idea, worry, or memory is returning not to annoy you, but to ask, are you ready to release or integrate this? The energy of these final May days pulls unresolved patterns to the surface, not for judgment, but for transformation. Don't swat them away. Observe them. Let them come close enough to burn, or close enough to finally be absorbed as truth. In this sacred window of time, your thoughts may not be the only thing that feels strange. Time itself may begin to blur. You might lose track of hours or feel suspended in a dreamlike state. That's because you've entered what ancient mystics called the unwritten days, a pause in linear time where reality feels less solid and more fluid. These aren't lost days, they're unlocked days. You're not meant to move fast or force clarity. You're meant to simply be, to let the timeline bend and reshape around your deeper alignment. This time distortion isn't something to fix, it's something to feel. It's a spiritual recalibration where your soul is being resynced to a new rhythm. When the world feels unreal, trust your inner compass even more. These are the hours when soul realignment happens quietly, below the surface, while you rest, reflect, and remain still. Don't fight the strangeness, flow with it, because what's being rewritten now is not just your schedule, it's your entire frequency. Think of these final days of May as the quiet rehearsal before the curtain rises. Everything you're sensing now, every subtle shift, every intuitive whisper, is part of a larger preparation. June won't ask you to go inward, it will ask you to show up. What feels abstract now will soon take physical form. But here's the truth. Not everyone will recognize the change. Only those who've taken time to align, reflect, and listen during this sacred window will be ready to fully receive what's coming. Isolation now is not withdrawal, it's alignment in disguise. The world will move on as usual, busy, noisy, distracted. But you will have heard something deeper. You will have sat with truths that couldn't be spoken, rested in a silence that healed more than noise ever could. That's why this isn't a call to action, it's a call to awareness. The real work has been quiet, internal, invisible to the outside world, but undeniable to your soul. If you've honored this space, even in small ways, you've done more than enough. So now, take one last breath and let yourself simply be. No striving, no performing, just you in stillness. These 3 days weren't random. They were sacred appointments with yourself and with something much larger than yourself. If you've been listening, you already know the shift has begun, and from here on out, everything changes.